Hey guys, today we're going to talk about the trifecta of self-love. So self-love is a big topic and it's at the heart of everything we're doing at Powerful. So what I'm going to talk through today is the way that I believe is the best, most conducive environment to develop self-love. So first of all, what is self-love? Well, it is the basis and the foundation of the most important relationship in your life, which is with yourself. So if you love yourself, all the other relationships and the way that you perceive the world around you are going to be much more conducive to this position in your life. You want to be feeling love and sending out love. It's all about that give and receive cycle in the world. Now, self-love is something that we all can possess, and it's just a choice, but sometimes that choice can be quite a hard one. Oftentimes it's because people have a bit of a preconceived idea as to what self-love is, or that it's actually a term of arrogance or ego or self-absorption. But that's exactly not what self-love is. So anything that is overly egotistical or arrogant or anything like that, that is the opposite of self-love as well. So you've got a spectrum. You want to make sure you're not flying too much towards overconfidence, which is not what we're wanting, because that is again based in insecurity, or the other way, which is self-depreciation. You want to have self-love, which is in the middle. Now, as I said before, self-love is a choice, but I understand, because from my own experience, it can be pretty difficult just all of a sudden be like, yeah, cool, awesome, after years of body image issues and self-depreciation and lack of worthiness, that we just think, yeah, I love myself. But that's the whole point of our program. We're wanting to develop this beautiful environment that self-love comes from. Myself, I found this came in my life when I did start working on these things. I never had confidence as a young girl, and of course this meant that it's flowed onto every other area of my life. I often felt like nothing ever went the way that I wanted to, that other people got life better than I did, and that people didn't notice me. But hey, guess where that came from? Inside me. So when I figured out, well, it began when I started training. So when I started training and caring for myself, I began to feel strong internally. I started to eat better and nourish my body rather than starving myself or over-exercising. Then that became the first little step of self-care and starting to actually nurture myself rather than punish it. Then of course that started to lead on to feeling more confidence and security in my body. I started to think, well, what about emotional health? And like my emotions are all crazy all over the place and I've suppressed them for years, so what the hell's going on there? So I started to delve into that a little bit more and release and let go of emotions and started to express them more healthily. I started to feel more trust and resilience within myself. And of course, with my confidence in what I can do, by being organised, making sure I'm checking things off and being on point and accountable, all of a sudden I started to feel like, holy shit, I love myself. And that's one of the biggest things that I believe is going to cause any woman to love herself, is creating that environment within herself to let it out. So, self-love, why should you even have it? Well, I've already explained some of the benefits. But when you have self-love, it is the basis of your inner happiness and fulfillment. So oftentimes people are looking externally for places or things or objects that are going to make them happy, or money that's going to make them happy, or when they do something or get a job or have a relationship. But really, all of that comes from within. And the biggest part is love, and having that lovely place within yourself means that that happiness will bubble out of you. And of course, it's very addictive and expressive. People notice it when you do love yourself. The fulfillment that comes from within you also creates resilience to any external sources. So while you're not looking externally for things to fulfill you anymore, you also don't take those external things as the be-all end-all anymore. A lot of girls tend to use external opinions or ideas or something that someone said as the Bible. Really, you're the only one who determines who you are. So that is why having self-love makes you more resilient to those external sources. Also, it helps you with the self-sabotage problem that a lot of women have. So when you love yourself internally, your choices will reflect what you feel inside. So if you are nourishing and nurturing, compassionate about yourself, everything you do will encourage that, rather than doing all those horrible self-sabotaging behaviours that cause pain or push you back and away from your true self. So having self-love will help that as well. Of course, it'll help you become a greater service to the world. Like I said before, when you give love out and you receive it back, then people will notice that around you and you'll start to attract better people into your life. Plus, you're more likely to choose things that serve you and you can serve in turn. So, at the end of the day, it's going to be the saviour of the whole world, self-love. Now, like I explained before in my story that I've experienced, I found the best way to develop self-love is by creating the environment around you and everything that you do to help that make an easier choice. So first of all, I like to make this little Venn diagram of what I believe kind of creates a beautiful environment for self-love. Number one is self-care. So the physical stuff that you do to yourself or don't do to help you to help create that beautiful environment. Then self-confidence is the mental side of it. So how you mentally strong and resilient and prepared for everything that comes at you. And of course the self-worth side of the value and the emotional side of it. If that is important, if that's one of the most important ones, if that is nourished and growing, then you're going to have a better environment, again, for self-love. So what incorporates into those things? So first up, self-care, the physical side. Now, training and nutrition, we have our own whole pillar on these. So munch and move. That is one of the biggest parts of your own self-care you can do is eating well and training and exercising your body. Other than that, we've got meditation and mindfulness, so finding that calm, gentle space within you where you can chill out that monkey mind and start to make yourself feel more zen. We've also got rest and you time, so making sure you take time for yourself, and it's good for reflection, recovery, space. It's so important for self-care. Also things like doing activities you love, so make sure that you enjoy what you do every week, make sure you're getting away and enjoying yourself. Taking a break, so it's a holiday or just a little mini breakdown, somewhere where you can just rest and relax. And of course, release. So this is things like if you're wanting to see a counsellor or a therapist or something to help release and resolve some emotional tension or mental tension, and that's also another form of self-care. Having people there to look after you and help you is extremely important because you can help each other in turn. Now, self-confidence, the mental side, this is the stuff we've gone through right back at the start. So I like to think of it as the self-awareness, or you're focusing on your abilities and your strengths. When we went back to goal setting and self-awareness, this was what this was all about. So who you actually are, what you're strong in, what you want to work on in your life, where you want to go. Having that direction and that power is really important for having confidence in yourself. And plus on the flip side of that, making sure you are educated, you're knowledgeable, and always searching for more information to back up what you're doing in your life. Having action and accountability so you can follow up on everything that you're wanting to do. Having good habits and reflecting on what you do. I believe having these backing you up makes you mentally strong. Now this, if you're getting a little bit more hippie, is the yang side of the yin and yang. So the fire, the power, the more masculine out there energy. That is just as necessary as the yin, the softer side. But I find that confidence helps you to push through and push yourself into that next level of your life and make you push your boundaries. So I've said that the things that are involved in that self-confidence are your habits, your health, education, action, responsibility, and tenacity. So all that pushing energy is really important. On the flip side of that, that emotional side, that giving side, is your self-worth. So this is understanding your emotions and letting them out. It's about your beliefs and your self-belief, your honesty to yourself, the way you talk to yourself, all that internal dialogue that goes on that affects the way that you act and behave and think. Your self-acceptance, which we were just talking about last week. So learning to actually accept who you are, the dark and the light, everything that is going on, and knowing that not everything will always be perfect. And of course, the forgiveness and filling your cup. So putting yourself at the top, so making sure that you're always giving yourself enough nourishment, enough care, making sure that you are filled up so you can give to others. It's a very important part of emotional happiness and health. Now, self-worth, as it's emotional, I think it's all about honesty, good energies, positive energy, acceptance of yourself, respect, and trust. I think if those all tie in together, you are extremely powerful work. So, those little aspects are what make up the mind side of our pillar. Now, this is kind of the big connection of everything that we've been learning so far along the Powerful program. And I believe that at the end of the day, we're wanting to build and develop that self-love. So working on all your habits, your training, your nutrition, working on your emotional health, your mental health, all tied in together will create that beautiful, powerful self and with a heart of self-love.